everyone, Maggie here. I am working on my Butterick Tunic 5861 and I am just at step 1 right now, where I need to reinforce the corners of the top, pivoting at the circles and clipping, making a space for the inset in the front. Okay, so I'm going to be reinforcing this corner, which is the first step here. Okay, step 2 is to do the gathering lines on the neck edge between the square and the small circle. So that is about 5/8 of an inch in from the edge. And I got my stitch length set at 3.2, which is a basting stitch. I'm doing my first line at about 5/8, and then I'm going to do another basting line just inside that. Stop at about 5/8. Okay, do my second basting line. And do this at the top of both of the necklines. Okay. Oh. Gotta get my rhythm here. Okay, so we're up to step 3, 4, and 5, which is to make the front placket of the shirt, and then also there's detail on the top of the sleeves, around, kind of like around the neckline. In the pattern, they have you use bias strips to make the feature. So I am right now just cutting out. Well, first I'm drawing my lines, because these are 1 inch wide, and I'm going to make like a long strip of bias, and then it's going to be folded and sewn together. So that is what I am up to right now. So just using my ruler, and hopefully everything will end up on the inch mark there. Okay, and just drawing this, and then it's going to be sewn into a tube and then cut out. So that is where I'm at with this. I'm just drawing my lines. Like this. Trying to be very careful. I'm using a red heat erasable pen. I have to go on the lower line here. Now, what they actually have you do is do a seam, but I think I'm gonna just cut these strips without doing a seam because I don't want to have any seams in the middle of the design because I'm afraid it might cause bulk. Okay, so I am just gonna, what I'm gonna do is just cut these strips just the way they are. Without doing a seam. So actually what they have you do in the instructions is they have you fold each of these sides in. I left the salvage on here. Let me cut that off. This is supposed to be 1 inch wide, which looks like it's kind of shy. It looks a little shy, 1 inch. But you basically want to have a 1/2 inch piece of trim. Or no, actually I think it's a 1/4 inch. So once you fold that in, and then fold it in half, and then they have you stitch it. So that looks pretty shy to, so I might actually press it with one of my things here. Let's see, which one would I use? I think this small one here. Let's see. No, that's gonna be too small. This size. Let's see. I'm just kind of testing this. Use this, and then it's folded in half and stitch close. and applied to the garment. That does look thin. Okay. Yeah. Okie dokie. See if we can make some of these strips of trim. So it's actually gonna be pretty thin because I'm gonna be folding it in half. And I'm thinking that this is probably the way to get it the most consistent width anyway. This is like 1/2 inch. Makes it go a little bit quicker. Step 6 and 7 is the application of the trim, which we will. Hi everyone, so I am working on the trim here that's going to go on the front placket. And according to the instructions, this gets folded in half, and you're actually supposed to do a stitch close to the edge there, but I think it's going to be too thin, and then this gets stitched on here in rows down the trim about every 1/2 inch, actually a little less than 1/2 inch, and there's like 19 rows down this. But I think I actually think I'm gonna get some stitch witchery and just close it that way, maybe, so that I just have one stitching line, because it's so thin that I think the too many stitching lines is gonna spoil the effect. So I think that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be different than the instructions. So I think I'll just like work on pressing this so that I can get these little trim pieces, and I have to look for my stitch witchery, I think. Hopefully that won't make it too, what's the word? I want it to have some give to it, so maybe just pressing it will be okay. And I'm afraid the stitch witchery might make it too stiff. difficult decisions. Difficult decisions. Hi everyone, Maggie here. I'm still working on my tunic top, and so I'm working on the placement of the trim. These are little tiny bias strips, and what I found is they really do have to be placed pretty close to each other to get the right effect. So I'm using my quilter board so I can press them, and I think what I'll be doing is actually basting them in place, and getting the placement first, and the instructions say to baste them, the ends down anyway, because this middle part is going to get turned up. So I'll be stitching the top edge. I only want one row of stitching on them, so I actually have left them open. I'm trying to use my board here so I can see. Helps me kind of like see the placement. I did put some little lines on there, but I actually did not sew these closed because I only want, you know, once they're pressed closed, they pretty much stay closed, and they're going to be sewn just one row of stitching. So yeah, that is where this is at, and they really do need to be pretty close to each other here, so that it won't look too, they won't have gaps. So that is what I'm up to. I just want to mention that this middle part is going to be cut out. It was just easier to get them to line up going across both of these. These are the two front pieces, and this gets sewn together here, so I'm just doing it as like in one piece like that, and then I will be trimming this out the middle here. I'm just basting these bias strips on here. So I have to tie off because I'm going to be cutting down the middle of them, but I just want to get them placed just so. And they're stretching a little bit. I'm going to be sewing them on the sewing machine. But I'm just trying to get their placement just right first. I'm just basting these on here.
got to be a better way. Because at the same time they're kind of stretching out a little bit on me. So at least this one is. It is biased, so I don't want it to be too loose or too tight either, so because these are going to turn once they're stitched here, it's going to be turned up. It's part of the design. Oops, lost my needle. Here is the panel with all the bias strips basted on, and now we will be applying those, and I'm going to be serging around it to kind of clean it up, and then it can be installed. So I have my placket all basted, and I just serged these ends to make it easier to work with and just to kind of clean it up. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll be stitching them down. Hi everyone, I am working on my placket. I have my placket piece. As I mentioned before, I decided to just go all the way across with the strip, and then I'm going to trim it just because I want them to be, this is the opening here, I want them to match up well, so that was the easiest way to do that. What I have done is I have serged this edge here just to like neaten it up and secure the trim at the edge. And then also each piece is basted. So now what I'm doing is I am just stitching them across the top, and at this top edge is the fold that has the two raw edges folded in. So I'm going to start with like a knot. I'm going to try doing a knot. And I want to get my needle as close to this edge as possible. This is kind of going to be tedious. But I'm going to do a little knot at the end here to secure it. And we'll see how it goes. So we want to stitch, I want to stitch as close as possible and as consistently as possible, so I'm going to go real slow. And at this edge I'm going to do a knot. Okay, and then just continue across. Do a knot here, continue across. So going all the way across here, doing that. Before I take these hand basting stitches out, I am gonna stitch down the side here in the selvage about where this is going to be sewn into the top, just to secure it. They recommended basting it, so I will be doing that. I'm going to do it at about 1/2 inch, I think. Not quite 5/8 of an inch, but so I'm going to increase my stitch length a little bit. I'll do it up at maybe 300 or 3 and at about 1/2 inch I'm going to do this. They're kind of in between 5/8 and 1/2 inch, because I may have taken a little bit off the side here when I serged it, and I want it to fit in appropriately. So and I'm going to be going down both sides like this, and then after that I can cut them apart. There's that one. Okay. I think I want to stitch in the same direction on this. Well, yeah. Okay, here we go. Basting. Basting. Between 1/2 inch and 5/8. Machine basting. Okay, I'm going to do the same in the middle here. I'm going to baste about between 5/8 and 1/2 inch along here. So, let's see. That's going to put me at about the right spot there. 'Cause this is going, I think I'll probably go all the way around the curve here. Or I will stop here. It's kind of hard to see. I'll work from the other side better. I'll work from the other side. Okay. So you can see here. I'm going to work from this side because then I can see it a little better. Still basting. This is where this is going to be enclosed. Go slow here. Not perfect. Okay. And we'll do this way. Okay. Looks like it's just got everything secure, and I should be able to cut it apart. Okay, do this one. Did I lose my thread? No. right now. Okay, and now I'm gonna cut this apart. Whoop! It's a little scary, but we'll cut it apart. Okay, so this is the back of my work. I'm gonna just cut it apart with my sewing scissors, with my what is it? Cloth scissors, Fiskars, and I'm gonna serge. I will be serging around this edge too to clean it up here. Okay, so now I've got my two pieces. I'll be serging that, and the next thing is going to be taking out the basting. So I have my trusty seam ripper, and so I will be taking this out, taking these stitches out, and then we'll be back. Hi everyone, Maggie here. I'm working on my trim, and I am actually doing that stitching line that's up in the middle, through the middle of the trim. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. I'm going to try it, and if I don't like it, I'm going to take it out. It doesn't look very good with the pins. But maybe once I take the pins out, it'll look better. Now what I did do is I basted, the basting does not, I need the pins to hold the tucks up, but I basted just to give myself a stitching line, so and I know where I'm, what's up. So let's see if you can see this. Try to raise that up a little bit. Another death.
Children's accept patients up to 17 years old, and but we do not have that information currently at the exact ages of the patients that we're treating. Yeah, I mean, children's confirming we did transport to Children's Mercy, but we do not have the ages of those patients. I mean, that's what happens with governments.
I won't get in a big debate right now. I think we're still doing an investigation, but I mean, what you saw happen was when people talk about guns a lot. We have over 800 officers there, staff situated all around Union Station today. We have security in any number of places, eyes on top of buildings and beyond, and there still is a risk to people. And I think that's something that all of us who are parents, who are just regular people living each day,